Hello and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. I have two short videos I'd like to make, still on Mary Anning, just using her as an example of life, discovery, and this book is about discovery, stories of discovery. And I've shared it with you before, and it's got a wonderful example in here of a discovery by Sue Hendrickson and the role that chance plays. The discovery of what would become the world's most famous dinosaur happened, as is often the case with discoveries, somewhat by chance. Were it not for a flat tire and thus some spare time, Sue Hendrickson might never have ventured across 7 miles of badland toward an exposure of cliff that she felt had been calling her for 2 weeks. But she and her dog Gypsy took the 3-hour hike, and within 10 minutes of walking along the base of the cliff, head down, scanning the ground, she spotted bone fragments. That sort of experience happened for Mary Anning. She was working with her father and her older brother. From an early age, she'd go out when he went out to walk the beach and learn from him and have that time and camaraderie. And she learned what were the telltale signs, what things am I looking for, what do you look for, and how do I hammer and chisel that unwanted stone away from the wanted stone. Things like that she learned from her father until she became a child expert, really, at finding and locating fossils. Amazing. Now, the finding of fossils, of course, still has that element of chance or surprise. And going through these 4 books that I shared with you, I had a surprise, and I meant to share it with you last time, but I forgot. When I looked inside the crocodile, there was a newspaper article in the Times Colonist. That's a newspaper here in Victoria, British Columbia. Second dinosaur found. And it's London, AP, Associated Press, and there's English people here. They thought, well, we'll pick that up. That'll be interesting. So there it was some years ago, and also in Mary's Monster, there was a newspaper article. This was a big newspaper article. It was put out by the New York Times, and they have a service distributed by Special Features that other newspapers can pick up on. And this one's Old Bones New Ideas. So it's a long article with some neat information in it. Calgary, this is a Calgary Herald, picked it up because just east of Calgary is a Badlands kind of area where dinosaur bones were discovered, and they have the largest collection in the world of dinosaurs there. So other thing about these 4 books is that question of fact or fiction. Truth is a harder distinction than fact, maybe. And all of them were based on true information, true facts, but they were also an element of fiction in them, because each one has conversation in them to make it more alive, and that conversation is coming from the writer's imagination. In this case, there's a lot of conversation and things coming from the writer's imagination, but it makes for, gives life to it, gives a certain body to it. That's one of the things. We've got the bones, and now picturing what the body was like, maybe that surrounded those bones. So I want to speak a little bit more about that next time, but before I leave, I have an example of a book that I came across from the library here called The Fossil Hunter. It's by Shelley Emling. I enjoyed it. She's got great notes in the back where she got her information for each chapter, these letters, this report, this information, and I mean, she's got a lot of first-hand research here. And there's a couple of 3 things I wanted to share from it. One is this preview of us looking at the great white shark in a little while. She unearthed the fin bones that shielded the primitive Hybotus, the fearless ancestor of today's great white shark. So that sort of caught my eye. And this also caught my eye. Mary was sort of a little bit of an outsider. She did things that, not only was she outside, but she did things outside the norm. It wasn't common for a young woman to go down on the shore and search for things with her parent and brother, and even more uncommon to go alone, which she later did. But she did make friends with a person who was about her age and who would accompany her often. And this person has gone to visit in London, and they go by carriage. And she wrote her a letter. We bore our journey tolerably and arrived in smoky London at 9 at night. Oh, how different from the pure air you breathe. Well, it's become, there's industrialness and coal. There's no date here as to whether it's what time of year that letter was, but coal was used for fires in the winter, and so that could be part of the air pollution. Let's see, I got something else here too. Yes, this whole thing about the struggles to live, to stay alive at that time. Well, there were no women doctors, for example, and there were lots of things they had no answer for. And 2 friends she maid who were supportive of her work and encouraging. And one of them was William Buckland, and he and his wife had 9 children, 5 of whom survived to adulthood, so 4 died. And that reminded me of a case of Mary's family when their mother outlived all but 2 of them, Mary and her older brother, Joseph, who actually died before Mary did. The loss of her mother, loss of her father was hard, and then the loss of her mother, they'd shared in same space and meals and everything. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.